finally the Sukhoi 22 can actually fight, guys. Hello guys, once again it's Matt. Thank you all the members and Patreons. Make sure to subscribe and let's get into it. And today I actually flew the SU-22M3 with the brand new R60M all aspect IR missile, and yes, it's much better. Finally this aircraft got something to actually defend itself properly in these BRs. I mean, it was a 10.7 aircraft that doesn't even have a lot of flares, using very old R60 missiles, right? I think the majority of the problems of these aircraft came from two things, of course. One of them is the flares, that you basically have a very few number, and there's even some people asking for an actual modification that the Syrians did to this aircraft, introducing a very similar pod to the later SU-22M3, right, which basically creates, I don't know, 200 plus flares or something like that, to actually be able to defend itself properly, right? So it was an aircraft that was suffering a little bit. We had a very high BR for not having an all-aspect missiles and basically almost no flares. Of course, the performance of the aircraft is pretty good. You just have to kind of learn how to use it. It's an aircraft that it kind of remains a little bit difficult to fly for some people, and I mean, it's objectively just a very fast frontline bomber, right? So it means that the aircraft is amazing at doing bombing missions, right? So the R60M actually helps a lot with that. Yes, it is kind of annoying that we do have a minor problem here, which is another aircraft in the around the 10 plus BRs that uses all aspect missiles, which is something that I don't like seeing it. But in this case, this aircraft was actually suffering a lot, right, from time to time. And it was funny that they added it just after the actual SU-22M3 was added to the Italian Tech tree, right? So not only the Syrian one for a squadron vehicle is getting that, but also the good old SU-22M3 for the Italians as well, or the Hungarians, right? Which helps a lot, actually, that nation, right? Because it is a tech tree that deserves to have a little bit more CAS aircraft, although we do have the 10.3 AMX, which arguably is much better as a CAS platform than the SU-22, but again, as a bomber, kind of fast-paced frontline bomber, low altitude, kind of an interdictor style aircraft, the SU-22 is a much better aircraft, right? And even the AMX had A9Ls, right, at 10.3, so why not add the R60M to the SU-22, right? So it kind of makes sense, and it's amazing. It really, really is, especially when you are doing some head-ons. People are not expecting the missile to come. It's quite funny how many kills I got. Just people going straight to my aircraft and basically getting destroyed at 1 kilometer shot, R60M shots, so it's it's a good strategy. Of course, we gotta remember that even with that, it's kind of a weird BR range. Even for the SU-22M2, if you take a look on that aircraft, it kind of suffers a lot more, right? The performance is there. It's an aircraft that it's quite a fast thing, and that's probably why it has such a high BR, but still uses the R60, the normal R60, which is fine for 10.3, but the thing is that it has no flares, right? And as you know, in this BR, there are plenty of all aspect attack aircraft flying around, right? So it's kind of a problem that I always had. The SU-17M2, although they decreased the BR of these aircrafts heavily in the last couple of years, it's still an aircraft that I still think it suffers a bit from not having any type of flare. Any aircraft that don't have flares will suffer, and yeah, it's something that they need to even consider, maybe adding that pod that I talked about in the SU-22M3, right? It really, really does help. Having only 12 flares, it really is a problem. Of course, always remember, we do have the MiG-23, the same amount of flares, but I mean, it's a MiG-23. It's a much better fighter than an SU-22 or 17, right? So yeah, very, very cool, guys. If you have these aircraft, go out there, fly them out, because they are actually indeed very fun right now. as kind of a multi-role kind of option over here at the 10.7 BR, right? Especially for Italy. I mean, there's no other aircraft that has the capability of the Su-22 and can defend itself properly at this BR in the Italian tech tree. The only aircraft that is there is the 10.7 F-104G, but it doesn't even get close to the performance of the Su-22, I think, in a dogfight and stuff, although the F-104 obviously should be faster, I think, right? But maybe. But he only has 2 missiles, and it's just the A9J, so in the same BR, you know, it does have more flares, but everything else is... The Su-22 is a much better option for you to grind. So yeah, guys, I just wanted to let you know. So go out there, fly the aircraft, and let me know in the comments what you thought about the SU-22M3 at 10.7 having R60Ms. I see you guys on the next one. Make sure to subscribe, and bye, guys.